water. Think crystal water. For energy and health, you need to drink water throughout the day. Crystal water is the most consistent and best tasting water in Belize, trusted to refresh you and your family. Think water. Think crystal water. With 11 stages of purification to offer you the peace of mind you deserve, crystal water is the taste you can trust.
Persons at risk of becoming seriously ill from the flu or the coronavirus, people over the age of 60, persons with medical conditions they already had, such as diabetes or heart disease or conditions that has made their immune system low, such as HIV or cancers. At this time, there is no vaccine or treatment. Serious cases may need oxygen or ventilator support. Be caring and show support for your elderly loved one during this time. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
Looking for quality and affordable fashion? The It Store, where you can shop fashion for less. We have clothing for the entire family and quality that fits your budget. The #1 store in town. Find kids, men, and women apparel for all occasions. We are located at the #1 Queen Street, Belize City. Call us at 223-1552. Remember to like us on Facebook. The It Store. Find it, love it, buy it for less.
So did you know that Sagicor has a plan that can help to protect your income against the life-threatening illnesses that we face today and help you to access medical care? Please, don't hesitate. Call me at cell phone number 614-1834 for more information on what's available.
I had a really good time tonight.
So did I.
Life moves fast. Be prepared with Sagicor. Learn more at sagicorlife.com.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Matters. This morning we have somebody that I am sure will bring great value to you this morning. You don't have to be going through any level of mental health to appreciate what Martine King will share this morning. Martine is the co-founder of Mind Health Connect. She's also a mental health therapist. Martine, good morning. How are you?
I'm pretty good, thanks. Thank you for having me and being able to talk about this important topic, especially right now.
Thank you for volunteering your time to sit and share with us this morning. I want to start with you. Tell us a little bit about you, where you grew up, how you grew up, and what got you in the scope of work.
Okay, well, I'm proud to say that I was raised and still call my home the Toledo district. I lived and grew up in the bush, had a wonderful childhood down there. And after went away to do high school and then my other degrees. And I think for me, I always had this thought of I want to help, or this feeling of I want to help. I didn't quite know what that would look like. And then, of course, I was quite the troubled teen myself. So I think in an attempt to also understand myself, I started to get interested in, how do we think? Why do we behave the way we behave? Why do humans, what is it that makes us tick? What is it that makes us well? And so that led me to psychology and then into counseling and emotional intelligence. And so I've been in the field for about 11 years now. And I have worked with children and young people and adults. And of more of recent, emotional intelligence, which is, something that we've used forever. But this is now a concept and a name that they've put to it. But it really just teaches you about your emotions. And I always say that I wish when I was in primary school, just like I learned math, somebody would have said, okay, well, these are our emotions and this is why we have them and this is what you do with them. And then maybe I would have saved myself some grief. But I can at least try to do that for some now. And I use it myself every single day. So that's sort of a short version of my story that has brought me to mental health being so important to each and every one of us.
Tell me a little bit about Mind Health Connect.
Okay, so Mind Health Connect is really, as the name says, we're worried about our physical health, as we should be. It's obviously very, very important. But there's certainly anything that comes to mental health, I'm guessing because it's a more abstract concept. And, I have a cut or my blood pressure is high or something. We get it. Mental health can be vague. It can be, like I said, abstract. And so we really wanted to say, hey, you can't have physical health without mental health. So the organization started a group of us Belizeans, and it's connecting mind and health. So we place equal importance on the mental and on the physical as well. Again, because really they exist together. And so that would be the idea, again, of going back to making resources throughout the country of Belize available to Belizeans. As a counselor, I have people calling me all the time with all sorts of questions, which is great. But I thought, man, suppose you don't have my number, you don't have the number of some of my colleagues who are also in the mental health profession. So we created a website, mindhealthconnect.com, and you can go there, and by district, we list the mental wellness resources, because I think you said something really important when you started just now. This is not only about those who may already have some sort of mental health disorder. Wellness is for all of us. And so this website is about mental wellness. And so we've listed from churches to sporting facilities to counselors to the hospitals, anything that we could find throughout this country, we have put on that website. I wish we had more resources, but what we have, we continue to try to update the website as often as possible. And then the other part that we want to do is advocacy. Let's have the hard conversations. Let's talk about the things like the fact that some people have suicidal thoughts, that some people have thoughts about hurting others, that I feel sad or hopeless or panicked, and all the other, thoughts and issues that might arise. So that really is the purpose of Mind Health Connect, to raise awareness and to be able to list the resources available for anybody who's interested in mental wellness.
Martine, I am glad that there is a place that normal people can go, because I think in societies like these, we wait until it is too late to say, hey, I have a problem. But if there is a place that you can go when you just want to talk. You just want to know if your thoughts are normal, if your behavior is normal, if you are, and I think that is what this place provides. You don't have to wait until you are totally falling off the road before you say, hey, I need help. So I think a lot of people are grateful that there's a place that you can go and just have conversations, I would imagine, and just see that you are not fully gone or you're not gone any at all. It's normal to be the way you are. And it is without judgment. You started off with your emotional intelligence. And I want to start there because I think it is a conversation that's not had. People don't have these kind of conversations for whatever the reason. Maybe they're just not aware. Maybe it's not important. But I think it's very important on every level, especially in relationships, because we have different ways of responding to people. Yes. And so I would like for you to start there and describe it for the people that may have difficulty to understand what it is.
Okay, so I just want to go back a bit before I answer that one, if you don't mind. With Mind Health Connect, when you go to the website and you write us or email us or call us or text us, we will try to find you resources. So, for example, we might not necessarily, if you call my number, go into any sort of counseling or any sort of rapport building. What we want is for you to say to us, well, this is what's happening. Where can I get help, or where can I talk about this some more? And then we will help you to say, okay, well, these are the resources available. And then you would then go ahead and do that. Now, I always say, if it doesn't work out with what we have here, please call us back, because then we will continue to help you look for what it is that you need. So I just wanted to make that clarification with that. And then, well, talking about emotions is one of my favorite things. And, the thought has always been that IQ is the most important thing. And now we know that, in fact, IQ is important, obviously, but emotional intelligence is proving to be, based on now decades of research, to be even more useful. And I'll give you an example of that. So you run a business and you speak to anybody who runs a business now, and they'll say, man, I have such difficulty finding employees who know how to manage conflict, or who know how to manage uncertainty or anxiety, or even employees, especially the younger generation, that are able to be flexible and who are resilient, right? So all these soft skills we're really lacking. And so it's become even more important to be aware of what the term emotional intelligence is. And wait a minute, what's my emotional intelligence? How am I doing managing my emotions and managing the way I think and managing stress? Because life will bring stress whether we want it or not, to some degree or another. And so I think it's increasingly becoming more and more important, and it's good to be able to talk about it just like you're talking. In particular, one of the biggest places that you will find difficulty is within relationships, whether that's with your partner or your children or your boss. Relationships in general can be so challenging because we all have different personalities. And so inevitably there will be some level of conflict. How we respond to that is going to play a really crucial role. Now, take that and add what COVID-19 has brought to the table. And we're talking about people, all of us, under increased stress, which means our brain and all our bodies are working. We might be more irritable. We might even be angry. We're sad. We're sort of like on this roller coaster. And so, again, being aware of, wait a minute, what am I feeling? What's contributing to this feeling that I'm feeling right now? And how am I going to choose to act on this emotion? Because we can very easily, I've heard people say, a lot of people now come out that is divorced. And, you know, we laugh, but there is some truth to that. And I would like to be able to help somewhat to decrease the divorce level, if so, during this crisis. But it's hard even for me, you know, and I have 2 kids at home. And so, yeah, it's tough stuff. And I think it's a term and a concept we all need to get better acquainted with to help us navigate our relationships.
I like that. Let's start with the position where parents now have their children at home. And some of these children are young minors and some of them are adult children. And because of the situation that everybody finds themselves in, people, maybe let's say there's 4 people in the home. The 4 people are adjusting at different pace. So the teenager might not come out of her room or his room. The young child might want to watch TV for 24 hours out of the day. The husband might not want to talk, and the wife is left with all the responsibilities of managing everybody and still trying to manage herself.
You just described my life, Rhonda. How do you know?
You know, when I was saying it, I thought for a second that they're going to say that I'm chauvinistic, but I think that this is the reality for most people. You know,
no, it is. It is.
It's just how it is.
Especially in our culture. The truth of the matter is, in our culture, what you described just now with the man and woman dynamics is the norm. Yes, I mean, there are many exceptions, but the norm is exactly what you just described.
Exactly. So I will start with the person that may have the least awareness, and that would be the person that is 7 years old, that is 10 years old, that just wants to watch TV for 24 hours a day, and man, I have no school tomorrow. What is something that a parent can do to try and keep this child on track and try to develop them at the same time?
Okay. So the first thing that comes to mind for me, and what I do as well, is to create a schedule. And I'll give you, for example, because the kids had online schooling, we had a schedule. You'd get up, and at 10 every day, you get up a little bit later, that's fine. You have the opportunity to do that. Let them get up later. You don't have to have like a militant schedule. There can be that sense of flexibility. So they got up, you eat breakfast, chill out a bit, and then, okay, at 10, we're going to do your homework. And this is because I'm talking about my 4-year-old. So we do whatever they gave him to do. And then after that, then he gets some TV or iPad time. So then he goes and he plays and he does whatever. And then we have a lunchtime, and then the afternoon. Now, I didn't do this the first week. As I've gone along in the weeks in this schedule, I've also made changes. It's why I call it creating a flexible schedule. Because, for example, as a parent, especially as a mom who is in charge for the most part of what the kids will do or don't do, some days I'm extra tired, or some days I need to kind of just sit and go, wait a minute, this is overwhelming. And so he might get extra iPad time or extra TV time, and on those days. So I don't want to be rigid when you create a schedule, but also the schedule is there and the kids are getting used to it. So you get up, you do your schoolwork, then you have this time, then we have a point where we do reading time, and then we have yard time. because I need them to get out some of that energy, get some sunlight and run. Now, I don't care how big or small your yard is. You could figure out something if they go out there and play marble in between the houses, or you bring out a stick and do a hopscotch. Something where they're in the sunlight and they're in there getting that physical activity is important. So I would say to that parents, create a flexible schedule and know that you are going to be allowing them more screen time for sure. You still have to limit that. You wouldn't want to put them on all day because then they definitely are more irritable and cranky. Kids who are on screen time too often, their mood changes. But again, flexible schedule. So create that schedule that works for you. And the kid has an idea of, okay, this is what I can expect today. Now, my teen does spend more time in her room. This naturally kind of, that's the age they're at. They're sort of, I need my alone time. I need to be in contact with my friends. So I'm trying to keep that in mind. But there's also a schedule. I literally there's an app where it's on her phone and my phone and I have control, and there's certain times of the day where I lock down all social media and all internet access to her phone. And during that time, she comes down, she helps me, we go out in the yard, we do something, she helps with the cleaning or whatever. And again, it goes back to flexible schedules. And she has to do 15 minutes of exercise every day. She can choose whatever exercise she wants to do, but every day there's 15 minutes of some sort of movement. So my idea here again is schedule. Create a flexible schedule. Be inventive. And again, I know she will use the phone more than I normally allow. It's okay, just as long as she's not on it all the time.
For a person that may have an 18-year-old in the house that's going to sixth form, that you may not have been in the position where you monitored this child so much in the past, because really and truly, he or she's not, while they're your child, they're not a child. Mm-hmm. And now you notice that they're spending, just like you're a teenager, they're spending a lot of time in the room. Like maybe they spend all day in the room and they're out all night or whatever. Their schedule is just the opposite to yours. Do those parents have to be concerned that, gosh, I just don't want anything to happen to my child, considering he or she's locked up in the room, talking to their friends 90% of the time, sleeping? Should a parent be concerned? And if so, what can they do to break that cycle?
Well, I think it will all depend, if this child had any behavioral patterns before that may have been causing worry, then obviously there should be increased worry. But if you have a child, an adult child at home, I don't think anybody, not even us as adults, should be staying all day in our room locked up on any device. It's not good for us mentally. So if you do that 1 or 2 days or 1 day, once a week, and you just want to veg out in bed, great, do that. But if you're doing that too often, that's not good for anybody at any age. So and again, another concept that I think of is we have to take extra care of our mental health right now. And so if I have an 18-year-old in the house, yes, I understand you can spend more time in your room. But while in the home, these are the things. And you sit and you have a conversation. Listen to me. These are the boundaries of the homes. This is a very difficult time right now. And I think these are the things I need from you. Please make sure, again, you get a Lee exercise in, go sit down outside, come talk to me, help me do certain chores. Pull your weight, in other words, if it's an adult. And I think that whoever is in charge of the house and you have adult children at home, there has to be boundaries and you have to talk to each other about those boundaries. Is that necessary? Is that going to be an easy conversation? Maybe not. But I think the idea has to be that we are a team. We have to be a team during this. We're locked up together. This is not easy for a single soul. So we need to figure out how we're going to make this work for everybody. And so listen to me. I respect that you need more time in your room, but I also need to see you out and about. And I also need your help because if I'm not mistaken, adult children have dirty clothes, adult children eat, adult children dirty the house. So and that's a great way to say, you know what, help me with this. Yeah, let's get out the room. Or what I will do is let's do something in the yard and get everybody out, even if they're going to complain and groan. Let's go in and do something together. So again, it's that balance. And also, again, with adult kids, know your boundaries and set those boundaries and have the conversations with them. And again, the idea is if you're expecting everybody to be in love with these ideas, no, not going to happen. But have the conversation anyway.
You know, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we will start then with the idea of taking care of you, the one that's making the schedules, the one that's making sure that these things are carried out. Like you are the police for the home. So when we come back, we will have that discussion.
Hey, I bring your favorite for your lunch. I shared me.
Alright, thanks, but I'm really hungry right now.
It's gonna look frustrating. What going on?
I don't know, Peter, they're far and I got lab bills to pay right now.
I might have a solution that can help you out.
Well, you must have got direct line to Jesus then, because this one, yeah, miracle.
Not quite, but I know First Stop Speedy Money.
Well, please tell me about that.
First Stop Speedy Money is a pawn shop that is designed to help you on days just like this.
Really?
Yes, you know they pawn gold jewelry, bracelet, earring, they even do pawn and drive. This means you have full use of your vehicle and still get money.
Joe, you make it so easy?
It is easy.
Hey, yo.
Let's go check it out right now.
Visit First Stop Speedy Money at Capitol Garden Plaza on Constitution Drive in Belmopan or at 10 King Street in Belize City.
Stay healthy while traveling. Frequently wash hands with soap and clean running water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid close contact with persons suffering from any cold or flu-like symptoms. Avoid travel if you have any cold or flu-like symptoms. Avoid travel unless absolutely necessary to any location that currently has local spread of the COVID-19. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or nearest health center and share your travel history. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on the plane, you know they only give you some crackers, and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation. Great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives you more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
Did you know that it's best to keep the lumber stored in a dry place?
At KT Enterprises, all our wood is stored in an enclosed space to provide our clients with the highest quality.
We allow you to personally select your lumber if you choose, and we deliver countrywide.
Be it deck board, beams, and imported hardwoods such as red oak and white ash. At KT Enterprises, we provide you with the highest grade in treated pine, construction grade plywood, and imported hardwood, delivered to your door.
We continue to build Belize by reforesting its pine forest. Visit us today at 2.3 miles Iguana Creek Road, or give us a call at 671-0114 or 672-0114.
Me and my Marie shops in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Indiana.
I'm in Rhonda Beach, California with my Marie Sharp.
Me and my Marie shops in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Me and my Marie shop that are Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize. to manage our time and by extension ensure that we have our same level of mental health that we went into this with, we come out with or better. But we don't want it to deteriorate and we come out less than we were before. Again, welcome back, Martine.
Thank you for having me.
So Martine, in the first segment, we spoke about ways to keep the people in the home, the minors and the children and the adult children involved and active on every level, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But you, the supervisor, or I would say the house police, you have the biggest task. Because while let's say there's two kind of people at home right now. There's the stay-at-home mom that is always at home. And then there is the person that is accustomed to going to his or her job, and now they're at home doing duties that maybe their helper would have been doing or somebody else would have been doing. And both of those people have different struggles, but at the end of the day, they're both overwhelmed because they both find themselves in a very unfamiliar position. The lady that is home normally gets a break when the husband goes to work, the children go to school, she can sit down, watch a little TV, read a book. But now she don't have that luxury anymore because there's always somebody in her chair. There's always a child crying, they want something to eat, the children are fighting, whatever the deal is, it is even more overwhelming for her. Let's start with her. What can she do to ensure that she doesn't run off the edges?
So someone sent me a really funny video the other day, and it was a mother speeding up to school. You know, you hear the brakes slamming and the kids come out, and then all of a sudden you just see school bags flying out the front window, and then the mother takes off like, whoo, thank goodness, take these kids back, teachers. So I could kind of relate to that, and I'm sure a lot of the moms or the house police, as you say, can relate to that. And I think we do have to be very, very careful and very mindful of how we manage the stress level, because we don't want, it would be irrational to think that we're not under increased stress. There's that acceptance that we're more anxious, uncertainty. When the brain feels uncertainty, it really starts to look for danger all the time. That's what it does to protect us. And so there's that element of being able to accept and say, yes, I am not operating at my quote unquote normal emotional level. This is heightened anxiety, heightened stress. So what the body does is it starts to release those hormones. So we then have to do things to say, wait, I need to regulate the stress hormones. I need to do things to lower my heart rate, to relieve some of the tension in my muscles, because that's what the brain and the body do when there is increased stress, right? So we really need to pay attention to that. Now, how do you do that? One of the things I wanted to say is when we're under stress, a couple things can happen. We can go to one extreme, which is where we become militant. Like, okay, I feel uncertain. I'm going to control everything I could control. So look at you and get up 8 o'clock. You and do this. And then children and being children, adults or little ones are not we're not in military school. So as much as we want them to do exactly what we say when we say it, not going to happen. Then the other side of that stress response could be, you know what, forget it. Just make them do what I want. Whoever in the house, I can't deal with this, and we sort of shut down. Where we want to be is in the middle, where there's some flexibility to say, okay, I'm going to create a schedule for myself first. So check in literally. And this is hard for us to do because sometimes when we sit still long enough without phone, without distractions, all of a sudden these thoughts and feelings that we may have been trying to distract from are there. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is really hard. This is overwhelming or sad or angering, or there's resentment. There could be so many things there. But it's really important to just stop. I am a great endorser of deep breathing. And if you go to the Mind Health Connect, you can find deep breathing there. You can find so many resources on how to use that. And I will say that it starts there. Any mental wellness starts with slowing down, stopping long enough, taking a couple deep breaths, because what that does is bring in more oxygen that signals to the brain that it doesn't have to produce the adrenaline and cortisol that has us so stressed. So this is not just, oh, deep breathing is I'm a yogi. No, this is literally the increased oxygen signals to the brain, and that then signals to the body to lower our heartbeat, to release the tension going to our muscles. And so this is super helpful. So stop and say, okay, this is where we're at. I can't control COVID-19 and what happens. What are the things that I can manage? I don't even like the word control, but what are the things that I can manage? And if that means just making a list, do that. Good. And then make your schedule for yourself and ensure that in that schedule you have incorporated some type of physical movement, some sort of, I have one person who said, I just go under the shower and I run the cold water and I lie there for like 4 minutes. And that person finds that so relaxing. Find that time in the day to do something just for you, whatever that might be. And remember, we don't need any fanciness. Usually the things that we enjoy most are the tiny things like sitting outside or going for a walk or taking a longer shower or talking to somebody, whatever that thing is. So whatever that schedule you're doing, factor in time for you to take a breath, for you to acknowledge this is hard. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm used to going to work every day. And now all of a sudden I'm like missing and so appreciative of my babysitter that I just want to hug up and beg her for come back. Yes, it's hard. So do that. And then if you're a stay-at-home mom and all of a sudden you have the kids who are at school, likewise. And then for the dads as well, you know, who are there and who are under a lot of stress, likewise, this is for mom and dad or whoever is in the home, even your younger kids, to be able to take a pause, put away all the devices and just sit there for a moment and accept whatever it is that you're feeling in the moment. So I think that's a start to creating a schedule that can work. Be flexible with that schedule. Another thing is sleep is super important for our mental and physical health. So if we are going to be taking stock of, okay, how well am I taking care of myself? Please get as much sleep and rest that you can get. Watch what we're eating, which is kind of hard because we're rationed. So vegetables are hard to get. Fruits are hard to get. But again, be mindful of what it is that you're putting into your body. If you're drinking Coke and coffee late at night and you know that keeps you up, don't do that. So I love coffee, but I have it in the morning and maybe one at 1 o'clock if I need it. But after that, I won't have any because I know it's going to disrupt how I sleep. Alcohol also can be a great relaxer if you have one drink. But if you find yourself having too many drinks, then you need to kind of go, oh, this might be creating another habit I never had or I don't need to be increased. So be mindful of alcohol consumption because that is a depressant. And so, yeah, there are these tiny things that you can put into your day every day to take care of yourself and also to set your boundaries. You know, kids, I need 15 minutes. Here, do this. I'm going to go do this. And you can explain to them, I feel overwhelmed. I feel a little sad right now. I just need 20 minutes. Give me some time.
You know, I like what you said. I think all the things that you have said, everybody in the home there is something in it for everybody. Mm-hmm. But you also said something that I noticed is a reality for a lot of people now more than ever. This is like being, for some people, like on an extended vacation. So you wake up when you want, you eat when you want, you sleep when you want, you drink when you want. Let's start with the last one. The people now find themselves drinking, a lot of people find themselves drinking more than normal. Why? Because I can call you and we can call 4 more friends and we have an online party. Yeah. And that is a very sweet party to have. Don't get me wrong. I can see that you have to drink. I can see the benefit in that. But it becomes problematic when you're having these parties maybe at 6 o'clock in the evening and they don't end until 6 o'clock the following morning. And you're doing this 2 and 3 times a week. And now you have an alcohol problem. Or there might be somebody that already had an alcohol problem that was getting over it. And this just kind of spice it up again. How can somebody that's going through any one of these find a way to say, oh, it's easy for us to say, oh, I need to stop because we don't have those issues. But the people that have those issues, they can't stop.
Yeah. You know, and I'll tell you, and this is very important, and it's not only with alcohol, it's with food, it's with sleeping pills. You know, you could buy the Tylenol PM and any other things, because right now, the idea of just shutting off is wonderful. The idea of not having that thing, it's great, like I get it. And but we do have to be really mindful, especially if you already had a propensity to drinking or to overeating or to under-eating for some who, or to whatever other habits that you might have. Because the truth of the matter is, even if you are not a drinker, other than maybe a social drinker, you start to do anything too often And that's how a habit forms. And we have to be mindful of that. So be very mindful of the fact that whatever it is you are choosing to cope, because what we're doing right now is coping. And we can either choose healthier habits or unhealthy habits that then create another habit or another challenge, another problem that we'll have to deal with as this continues. And so again, the idea goes back, stopping and pausing to say, okay, mindfulness means being in the present with whatever is in the present now. And so I'll use myself as an example. I enjoy, especially after I have become now babysitter, house cleaner, employer, and all of that. When I'm done my work at the end of the day, a glass of wine sounds wonderful. But then I also say to myself, okay, I will go a couple days where I won't do that. Because the truth of the matter is the ease of ending my day with a drink every day is quite nice. But I don't want that to develop into a habit. And I know that it could. So I am very mindful of the fact that, okay, wait a minute, let's take a break now. Because we now know that the brain has neuroplasticity, which means that we grow new hormone based on, new neural pathways based on how often we do something, repetition. So if I eat and eat and eat every time I feel or to create those feelings of relaxation, that is a habit that I need to pay attention to and say, wait a minute, I need to stop this a bit. I need to do something different. And so it's really important, again, that whatever schedules we're creating for ourselves, we're able to say, okay, is this working for me now? And how will it pan out in the longer run? But let me tell you something. As human beings, sometimes taking time to reflect on ourselves can be painful and uncomfortable. And we don't like those feelings. So we tend to put that as last. And I think this is a great opportunity, since we're less able to move around and to create business for ourselves, to say, okay, this might not be pleasant because there are all parts of ourselves that we would rather not look at. But here's an opportunity to do that.
On that note, we're going to take a break and be back.
Think water. Think crystal water. For energy and health, you need to drink water throughout the day. Crystal water is the most consistent and best tasting water in Belize, trusted to refresh you and your family. Think water. Think crystal water. With 11 stages of purification to offer you the peace of mind you deserve, crystal water is the taste you can trust.
Hey! I bring your favorite for your lunch. I shared me.
Alright, thanks, but I'm really hungry right now.
You look frustrated. What going on?
I don't know, Peter. They're far and I got a lot of bills to pay right now.
I might have a solution that can help you out.
Well, you must have got direct line to Jesus then, because this one, yeah, miracle.
Not quite. But I know First Stop Speedy Money.
Well, please tell me about that.
First Stop Speedy Money is a pawn shop that is designed to help you on days just like this.
Really?
Yes, you know they pawn old jewelry, bracelet, earring, they even do pawn and drive. This means you have full use of your vehicle and still get money.
Sure, you make it so easy?
It is easy.
Hey, yo.
Let's go check it out right now.
Visit First Stop Speedy Money at Capital Garden Plaza on Constitution Drive in Belmopan or at 10 King Street in Belize City.
Stay healthy while traveling. Frequently wash hands with soap and clean running water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching eyes, nose, and mouth. Avoid close contact with persons suffering from any cold or flu-like symptoms. Avoid travel if you have any cold or flu-like symptoms. Avoid travel unless absolutely necessary to any location that currently has local spread of the COVID-19. If you become ill, please visit your doctor or nearest health center and share your travel history. A health and wellness message from your Ministry of Health.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because of its perfect portion sizes, and I can travel with it.
Because it's nice and soft and creamy, and it goes smooth on your bread.
I choose Happy Cow cheese because I eat it with my beans. I eat it with my fried jack. And you know why? Because it's nice.
Most of all, when you're on the plane, you know they only give you some crackers and you could just take one out and enjoy it with Happy Cow Cheese.
I'm Miss Baker, and I choose Happy Cow Cheese because it goes well with all the stuff I bake.
Happy Cow Cheese. Look for it in a store near you. Distributed in Belize exclusively by Emilio Ahmad and Sons Limited.
I chose Galen because of its strong reputation, great scholarships.
I came because I can take all my classes online.
Because Galen University opens doors to the outside world.
Their course offering in tourism.
It gives me more opportunity to become who I want to be.
If you want to connect with your inner champion to make the world a better place, then Galen is right for you.
Did you know that it's best to keep the lumber stored in a dry place?
At KT Enterprises, all our wood is stored in an enclosed space to provide our clients with the highest quality.
We allow you to personally select your lumber if you choose, and we deliver countrywide.
Be it deck board, beams, and imported hardwoods such as red oak and white ash. At KT Enterprises, we provide you with the highest grade in treated pine, construction grade plywood, and imported hardwood, delivered to your door.
We continue to build Belize by reforesting its pine forest. Visit us today at 2.3 miles Iguana Creek Road, or give us a call at 671-0114 or 672-0114.
Me and my Marie shops in Lake.
Me and my Marie Sharp in Indiana.
I'm in Rhonda Beach, California with my Marie Sharp.
Me and my Marie shops in Kabul, Afghanistan.
Me and my Marie shop that are Hertfordshire, England.
Me and my Marie Sharps in Taipei, Taiwan.
Marie Sharp, world-class products produced in Belize. I'm sure you've learned a lot, all of you, including myself. We found some great coping mechanisms. I think the primary thing that Martine has been saying is make a schedule. Make a schedule, and even when you were little, your mother tell you that, but you don't listen. Hopefully you will listen now because you have no choice but to listen. Martine, welcome back.
Thank you. Hi.
You know, in the segments before we spoke about solutions, but the solutions needed the agreement of everybody. So the husband had to be in agreement with the wife have to be in agreement with the husband, but that's not how the life is. The life is filled with 4 people in the house, and chances are 3 of them are not going to be in agreement with whatever things are. And how then do you best get out of the people without hurting yourself what you want from them? For instance, this is a time when you're on ration everything. You can't use extra soap powder, you can't drink extra juice, you can't drink extra rum, you can't eat extra cookies, you just can't do the extra. So let's start with the rebuttals that you will get, the no's that you will get. You seem to have a way that your child will come out the room, but the people that can't get their children out the room, how do that parent then cope with all of these no's?
That's the reality. In many cases, I mean, under the best of circumstances, when you're dealing with our children, you're not going to get all you want when you want. That's just the reality of it. So you're absolutely right in saying, well, now that we're all under increased stress, the habits that usually work for us can't work anymore. What in the world are we going to do? And so for me, it's you have to choose your battle. Choose your battles, and you also have to keep talking, which is going to be so hard because, again, if we feel like defenses are high, our flight, fight, or freeze response is I either want to get militant or I'm going to just shut down and to hell with that. And recognizing which is our tendency. So, but for me, it's choose your battles. But if you have people living in your home and you provide for that home as a couple or as a single parent or whatever it is, at some point, there's going to be an expectation that the people who live in that home have to pitch in. So these are the expectations, and keep talking about those expectations. Now, I know that every family is different, and that might seem near impossible for some families, and that might require a different set of boundaries and a different set of rules. But at the end of the day, for me, it's looking at this. Listen to me. Right now, we just have to survive this. So this is what we each have to do in the meantime. So let me, and I find that if you talk money, for example, so listen to me. And I am honest with I have a 5-year-old, so the level of what he will comprehend is different. But certainly with the teenager, as a family, we could sit down and say, okay, you know what, this is what's happening. And I have had to have that conversation several times, because again, in her mind, she's not necessarily at a place where she can understand all the intricacies of being an adult and providing for a family. So I would say expect that it's going to be difficult. Expect that it's not going to go how you want it to go the first, second, third, or fourth time. And that is where, when those feelings of resentment and frustration and irritability and anger come in, make sure you're acknowledging it and you're taking your time to rest and to have your moments of peace and joy. There is no other way. There's no magic formula. Unless you're holding a gun to somebody's head and say, "Picnic, do what I tell you for do," or husband or wife, "Do what I tell you for do," it's not going to happen. This is I'm going to have to try 50 times and then I will succeed once. Take care of yourselves like that. Set your boundaries for self-care, and you have to keep at it. Listen to me. I need your help. I need you to come and do X, Y, and Z. If you don't stop eating all the food, I'm going to have to lock them up somewhere. Do you want that? No. Okay, good. This is the reality of it, right? And so choose your battles. You might want to let go of some things. You can't fight every war in your household right now. So choose the ones that you could let go and go, okay, you know what? I'm going to let that one go for now. But the ones that are really going to affect the way the home is functioning, calm yourself down first and go back and talk to the person. Because when we're angry, and I'm guilty of this, when you lash out because you're stressed and you're tired and you're defensive, it only makes it worse. Again, I'll go back to having that time where you just sit down, breathe, and say, what am I going to do just for me right now? That makes me laugh or giggle or feel relaxed, whatever that thing is. I'm sorry that it's so complicated, but it's true. Oh, and exercise is amazing. It releases dopamine. So if that walk around your yard, if it's dancing, whatever it is that creates movement, at least 10 minutes a day, it does miracles.
You know, that might save your marriage, okay, and save your sanity. So
yes.
Keep moving. We spoke primarily of people with very minimal or no mental health issues in the first two segments. So their issues may be normal, for lack of a better term. Yeah. But what about the people that were already predisposed to mental health issues? And this only compounds it. How can they now manage? That might be a wide question or a broad question, but I think because a lot of things are shut off from them. So the person that was struggling, that could go and see their therapist one time for the week, might think, gosh, what am I going to do? There's no Martine anymore. In your case, I'm sure there's Martine. But, you know, I can go and walk my dog, and I used to go and heal Miss Sally, and that really, really helped me. Things that they could have done to get them through, they can't do anymore. And now they have an additional stress, an additional fear, additional fight. How do they manage?
Well, you know, those people are on my mind every day, very often, because my heart really breaks. I am very lucky in many instances for how things are panning out for me. And there's, you know, that sense of gratitude, but also that sense of, oh my gosh, how about those who already, like you said, had challenges with their mental health. And so one of the things that we have been trying to do through Mind Health Connect is we have gotten in contact with the Ministry of Health, the Mental Health Unit, and we've gotten all their numbers for all their psychiatric nurse practitioners, all their psychologists, and we have posted them by district, along with the other hotlines for domestic violence, for child abuse, and also the Mind Health Connect website. And we are sending that information out to everybody. It is going to be difficult because those people, for the most part, are going to have increased distress. And so the PNPs are on duty. In at least one is on duty in each district every day. They do teletherapy. And so basically you call and you talk through Mind Health Connect. If you call us or go on our website, we will try again our best to get you the resources that you need to help you through this. There's also on our website free counseling. If you have access to internet, there's free counseling from, for example, 7 Cups of Teas is one in the States that offers free counseling anytime you call. And that's an amazing resources. And we have some other ones listed there. Because we don't have as many counselors and psychiatric nurses and psychiatrists and psychologists that we would need in this country, then there's also online help that you can get. So I would say to those people, please reach out for help. Whatever it is, if you're feeling suicidal, if you're feeling irritable and unstable or in distress that you might want to hurt somebody else, please reach out to one of the PNPs. Please reach out to us at Mind Health Connect, and we will try to get you that resource that can help you through whatever you're going. It's really, really important. And we want to spread the word to please reach out for help. We don't have all the resources, but we have resources, and we're going to make it work so that you can get the support that you need throughout, for as long as this lasts.
That's the next question. People are saying for as long as this lasts, end of the month, 2 weeks. How can we get people to recognize that the end is not as important as today? Mm-hmm. Because if we deal with every day as this is how I will deal with today, so when the government says, we have 10 more cases, God forbid, and then we have to extend for another 2 months or whatever, we don't go crazy. Mm-hmm. Because we are already trained ourselves that I will live for today. I will do my best today, every day. So how can we get them to not be so caught up on that end date? Because that end date can change. And when that end date changes, it changes something in a lot of people.
Well, I think it's the brain's function is the brain doesn't like uncertainty because then it feels out of control. And so this idea of wanting to know the future, wanting to know the end is ours trying to grapple with having some semblance of control, some semblance of certainty, because really and truly we don't do very well in uncertain times. But I think you're absolutely right. And I think this is where the mindful movement has come in, that the past is the past. There is absolutely nothing, no amount of prayer or bawling or complaining or whining that could ever change 1 second ago or a millisecond ago. And the future, as COVID has reminded us, is God's land or whatever you want to call it. We don't own it. We don't know it. It is whatever. The only thing we have is now. Yes. And I think that's where the flexible part of creating a schedule comes, because as the day-to-day goes, as the hour by hour goes, the flexibility is important to remind ourselves that, okay, what do I need now? What does my family need to get through this hour or through this day? But the only way to be mindful and be present day by day as much as possible is, again, to stop, pause, and say, okay, how are we doing right now? Well, that never worked. So next time, maybe I need food. Maybe I'm a shouter. Maybe I'm too controlling or whatever. We have to come back to that check-in with ourselves and go, okay, wait, stop. This is all I have right now. What am I going to do with it? And as the truth of the matter is, as the adults and the people in charge of our households, we need to be doing that more often than the rest, because we will lead the path with that. And I just want to add something as well. For those who may not have had a mental disorder or mental issues before, but if you find yourself not being able to get out of bed for a couple days, not being able to concentrate, not being able to get your daily tasks done, and this is over a period of days, then you need to reach out and speak to somebody, whether it's somebody you trust, whether it's through Mind Health Connect, whether you call the Ministry of Health, whatever it is, whether it's online, speak to somebody. If you notice that you're panicking very often, if you notice that the feelings of hopelessness are growing and you just feel like you cannot function, please reach out for help. And that means you may have not had no mental health issues before. But again, if we're paying attention to ourselves right now, which we need to be doing, and you notice this, please reach out for help to talk to somebody.
I am so grateful that you said that, because I think a lot of people watching right now may be just in that position. They may be sitting or laying down in their bed watching this show because that's what they've been doing for the past few days, just watching television or scrolling the internet. So when you say reach out, it may be too broad for some of the people. So what is a specific place that they can reach out to that may give them then the other feelers to get to where they need to be?
Well, I would say go to the mindhealthconnect.com website, and there we have social media, we have Instagram and we have Facebook, and there you will find, it's a map literally, and it has by district the numbers of the psychiatric nurse practitioners and the psychologists that you can reach out to. If you're looking for private counseling, the numbers are also on our website. I know a lot of the counselors are offering reduced rates, and so that's also very helpful. There's also some districts have counseling centers through the government that are completely free. And then, or we could say, you know what, here are some online resources that are also free. And then I'd also like to say, because oftentimes when we talk about a population that has access to internet and has credit and all of that. If that's not the case, please send us a text and we'll call you back so you don't have the expense of the call. And we will try our best based on whatever you can afford or whatever is available to you to get you help. And certainly if you're feeling suicidal, please call one of the PNPs in any district, or please call Mind Health Connect and we will put you through to those people such as the psychologists. And also reach out to your spiritual leaders, reach out to your pastors or your priests or the nuns, reach out to these people who can help you to find hope and to know that this is not going to last forever, right? So reach out to people that you trust. And then certainly when I say reach out, I mean the Mind Health Connect website, the Ministry of Health, the mental health departments that they have. And then again, to trusted family members and friends, and to any spiritual leaders that you might trust as well.
Martine, I say thank you. You have been more than a ray of light to a lot of people this morning. You've given us a whole lot to think about. Again, I say thank you. We encourage people to go and check out the website. The information is at the bottom of the screen. Go look there. You might not feel the need for anything on the site today, but maybe tomorrow you do, or maybe you find somebody that has need for the information that's provided here. So we encourage you to go and just familiarize yourself with what is available in the event you need it or you know somebody that needs it. Again, Martine, I say thank you.
Thank you very much for having me. I really appreciate having these conversations because we need, again, these are the hard conversations. Mental health is real and, we cannot ignore it, especially during times of crisis. Thank you very much.
Thank you as well, Martine. Until next time, we encourage you to take care of yourselves and each other. This is Rhonda along with
Martine King.
Say goodbye.